art for 15 years at El Dorado High School in Socorro. And what happened during that time is I also had a side job doing greeting cards at Barnes & Noble, where I saw a contest for a community service project, which ended up leading to me taking the ideas of these high school kids, just conversation, after school, art club, and they were talking about how disappointed they were with all the trash in the desert. And so what they wanted to do was collect that trash and do an artwork out of it. And so it's like kind of like advocacy, but they didn't realize that's what they were talking about, but I picked up on it. So when I saw that contest at Barnes & Noble, I just kind of took it, twisted it, submitted it, and said, you know what, phase 1, we're gonna adopt a highway, pick up the trash. Phase 2, we're gonna take that trash and do community workshops where we teach people how to recycle it. And phase 3, then we'll take that and turn it into artworks that will be on display. Lo and behold, 9 months later, I got an email saying, congratulations, you're the sole winner in the nation. And then that resulted in Chelsea Clinton coming to a kickoff event 2 weeks later. That in turn led to environmental art classes. And then that in turn led to my students researching environmental artists from all over the world, and Bordalo II from Portugal was one such artist. They were amazed with what he did with the Big Trash Animal series, and so they presented to the class, and they were just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he came here and did one of these murals in El Paso? And my response was, why don't you email him? And they were like, oh my gosh, we can email famous people? And I was like, yeah, and he might even respond, especially if you offer money. And so, to their amazement, he said, yes, I will come. I will do a mural for you in your city. Here's my fee. And then we got to work fundraising. And then unfortunately, COVID hit. And so the whole world pretty much shut down for about 2 years. I changed positions and became the Assistant Director of Fine Arts for Socorro ISD. And those kids, some of them ended up graduating, but it was always on the back of my mind. Like I was like, this guy would come and do something amazing in our city. So I reached out to him again and said, I don't know if you remember me, but we still want you to come and do that mural that we had discussed. Will you come? And he said, yes, I'll come, but I have a window in August of 2022. You have to take that or leave it. And I said, I'll take it. And so what ended up happening is an amazing collaboration between Environmental Services Department, Paso del Norte Community Foundation, the building owner, which is Franklin Mountain Properties, Downtown Management District, and Green Hope Project. And the team just continuously met with Bordalo until we got everything right and ready for him to come.
Downtown El Paso has a great history of murals. So if you travel, especially as you get closer to the border, a lot of community-type murals that can tell a story, celebrate the community, and really give an identity to downtown El Paso. So that's what we hope to do with our mural grant program, is really support the arts community and support our property owners to continue to contribute to that story and to continue to build the identity of downtown as a place, not just a place to come for events and bars and restaurants and to work, but also a place where you can come and celebrate our community.
The talks began, and so we started off by trying to figure out the wall. And so we had a lot of failed attempts at finding a good wall, and I am so grateful that they all failed. For whatever reason, as far as owner or material wasn't correct, because it led us to Franklin Mountain Properties, which is the wall that it's at now. It's on the corner of Mesa and Franklin across from the plaza, which is the heart of our city.
It was really important for Green Hope to locate the project in the downtown corridor. And so we also worked with Candy and the Green Hope Project to look at possible buildings and spaces. And we're able to make the introduction to Franklin Mountain Properties, who's just been a tremendous partner who agreed to allow the surface of One San Jacinto to be the home for this really unique project. And so we were really proud to make that connection and so pleased that they were right on board from the get-go. And it's such a great location, a high-profile location, a canvas for this project that so many El Pasoans and visitors to our community can enjoy.
Number two, we had to figure out between Bordalo and us, what could we agree would go on the wall? And so I didn't want him to come and just do like a penguin Why would you do a penguin in the desert? How is that going to mean anything to us? And so with the help of Texas Parks and Wildlife, I got a short list of animals that were endangered or species of greatest conservation need in Texas. Gave him the list: burrowing owl, horned lizard, puma, and ultimately he did choose the puma, primarily because of the wall shape, and we were fine with that because it was one of our animals. So then the talks ended up being, now we have to get the material. So that's the Environmental Services Department. Luckily, they in-kind sponsored collecting all the debris. It sounds like a small task, but it was a huge feat. It was 7 giant truckloads of plastic.
So at the very beginning of the meetings when we started this, there was a list that they gave us, right? A material list that the artist needed. To me, it was a pretty weird list because they were asking from portable bathrooms, trash cans, different colors, crates, and this kind of stuff.
And so he's adamant that it should not be anything new. The whole point of this is that we're recycling materials that would otherwise be in a landfill. We don't want to create more waste.
We didn't have enough material, so we thought about getting Parks and Recreation. So I called Parks and Recreation, asked them, hey, what do you guys do with your old equipment, your slides, all your playground equipment? Oh, well, we have it here. So then we got them involved, and that's what kicked it over the top with the project, because we got a lot of different colors.
And so Environmental Services gathered, and then they power washed, and then they did bring it to us in the staging area below where the wall is in the parking garage.
So essentially, RLF was initially just supposed to partake in, helping out with the structural support portion of it, which essentially was just what the mountain lion was going to be mounted onto. However, I don't believe any of us had any knowledge as to what actually was going to have to partake in order to bring this to life from RLF's end. It was gathering the tools, making sure that we had all appropriate permits in order to bring the artists into town, as well as acquiring traffic control.
Between Green Hope Project and Franklin Mountain Properties and RLF Construction, everybody just believed in this project and worked so well together. It's really amazing what you have to do to prepare the building itself and the engineering and technical requirements that to be able to hold the mural.
We're very proud that not only is this the second biggest one in the world, but it is the first biggest one in the world that is primarily just the color of the plastic. He didn't go crazy spray painting everything. When he saw the plastic that we had, he was like, oh my God, El Paso has beautiful trash. We had yellows and turquoise and greens and blues and pinks, and some of that was broken playground equipment. But he was like, I just don't want to spray paint this. So it is the biggest one in the world that is not spray painted.
I decided to make a plastic one when I saw the wall, because I thought that it would be very interesting to have all these very neutral ambience, the whole building, even the street. It's very neutral. It's like just grays and some pastel colors. So I thought that the colors would be very impactful and it would work. It would be a lot of contrast there. And that's what we want with this project, to raise awareness and create some contrast that can make the people stop and look.
Once people started to see it come up on the wall, they were like, what is happening? So it took all of 6 days, 10,000 screws, over 100 hours, a crew of volunteers on the ground.
The process is a bit different from the half-half or from the neutral ones, because when you're making something bigger on the ground, when you lift it up to fix it, even if there are a few mistakes about the scale or stuff like that, you can correct it with the paint. And in this case, you can't. In this case, you have to make the pieces with the colors of the plastic until it works perfectly. So it makes it a little bit different. Sometimes if there is a line that is not working, you have to come down and prepare another plastic piece to get back there, screw it, so it's not just taking a can and paint it with another color. Yeah, but I'm very happy with the final result, so we took a little bit more of time than what we expected. Yeah, but in the end, I'm really happy. I think it was great. And we had a really good production team behind us that just made it happen.
We saw with the sketch and what it would look like and then what it ultimately did look like. And it was really fun to see the El Paso community really come together and watch this take shape.
Yeah, well, I'll start with the initial reaction. You know, when you talk about a trash mural, you don't know really what to expect. But we knew that Candace was very excited, very passionate about the project. And then once you start to look in some of the past work of the artist Bordalo and what he's done in communities around the world, you start to really get excited for what it could be here in El Paso. And then you go from, you know, a rendering of what the mountain lion's going to look like to actually seeing the artist on site, shaping the materials, installing them on the wall. Very exciting, the whole process to get to where we are. And then it's just extremely blown away with the outcome that we have.
For us to have this in our mind for over 5 years, and then some of my students to still be in the city and come and watch this come to fruition, they were just amazed. They were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is real. And I had to remind them, you're a part of this. I mean, you're a high schooler, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You can make a decision, make an effort, and your action can turn into something that can be something incredible.
We always have an interaction with the local community, and everybody were super cool and just ready to help with everything. So yeah, it was good.
You can constantly see people coming outside, taking photos of the mural, really celebrating this as a major addition to downtown El Paso's public art collection.
We were the first to sign up to be supporters of the Bordalo II project because we knew the impact it would create in our community. Not only does it bring in a beautiful structure to our community, it also resonates with a message of helping our environment.
The Bordalo team themselves were fantastic. When they arrived on site Monday morning, August 15th, I went over about 8 o'clock in the morning. They were already there on site. And there were guns a-blazing. They were cutting up pieces of plastic. They were doing all the things that they needed to do. They were sorting them by color. And we just had this huge area in our garage that was just full of plastic pieces. And I'm looking at that thinking, how's this ever going to become anything? And as you can see now, we have a beautiful mountain lion mural. It is fantastic. The work that went behind it was incredible to watch. We're very proud to be a part of this project and very excited to have that on our building and be a part of it.
El Pasoans really enjoyed watching Bordalo and his team create the mural in real time, but then watching El Pasoans come and see it. Either they're coming because it's a destination and they want to see the final product, or they're kind of stumbling upon it as they go to a baseball game or a soccer game or come down for Winterfest. The building owners have illuminated the mural in the evenings, and it's just stunning. It's colorful, and it's really remarkable.
The Downtown Management District, we like to view ourselves as a player in the bigger picture of downtown's redevelopment. And this mural is one of those projects that really symbolizes our downtown development. You can play a part, but it takes a lot of other people playing their part to make our downtown come to life and be the reality of our downtown revitalization. So hats off to not only the Green Hope Project and the Candace, but to all of those partners who came together to make this mural a reality.
So what I'm hoping is that by having a world-renowned artist come into town and put a piece in our downtown, right, in our city of El Paso, that this inspires the local artists, you know, to do similar or different things, but to inspire them to do more arts in the community, whether it's in downtown or different parts of the city. But I just hope that they get inspired by now seeing something that is a world-renowned artist. Who would have thought city of El Paso has, you know, Bordalo II artwork here? You know, it's pretty awesome to see that.
Murals are a very democratic form of art because they're open to the public. You don't have to pay a fee to go see it. Male, female, doesn't matter your ethnicity, your social class, anybody can have access to this. And however it moves them, it's just a testament to the fact that art can create change, and art can create environmental awareness, and art can draw attention to an animal that needs help. The puma is a species of greatest conservation need. Their numbers have dropped by 50% in the last few years for several reasons, but we do have the mountain lions here in Texas. We named her Frankie, and so she's called Frankie because she's on Franklin Street. The pumas are in the Franklin Mountains here, and and the property owners, it's Franklin Mountain. And so it's just perfect. So Frankie is our little mascot for change. So we're very happy about him coming here, and we're happy about the reception that the community has given us.